Hello everyone. This video is going to focus on Lambda. Lambda is basically inline function in Python. So basically whatever you can do in a normal function, you can also do it in an inline function. Basically, lambdas are extremely useful, especially when you want to apply a function or map a function to a data set on the fly. So again, this concept of function, especially lambda function, is extremely important, even though it's very simple, but it is important. So please pay attention. Okay, so like I said, lambda is an inline function. So this is my list, and I want to create a lambda. When you are creating a lambda, basically you say lambda, this is going to be your input variable, and this is going to be your return. So in one line, you were able to create a whole function. And the beauty of it is that now you can map your lambda, like you can call it my lambda, or you can simply map that without having to say have a lambda. So you can just put the function there. You can see, you can just put the function there and it will do the trick. So in one line of code, I was able to do something you would have had to do with a for loop, and then have to do calculations and a lot of things like that. But in just one line of code, I was able to do all of that, and it's fairly simple function. You could have more complicated function even like using lambda. So in the first challenge, I want you all to come up with a lambda function for the list below. So this is this is the list. I want you all to see if the number is odd. If it's the number is odd, multiply that by 5, and if the number is even, divide that by 2. So pay attention. I did not go over how you would do if conditional when you have lambda. So I want you all to do that on your own. Do a little bit of a Googling, see how you would go about like doing if conditionals with lambda, and then apply that here. So that's a challenge. So let's continue. What about when we have two inputs when we want to do lambdas? It's fairly simple. So basically, you would say lambda, the first input or the first array, and then you would say comma, the second input. So basically, even though the first and second input are going to be two numbers or two strings or two inputs, but they're basically two elements of two different collections or two different lists. So basically here, for example, on these ones, I mean, let's count them like 1, 2, 10 members here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 members. So they have to have the same number of elements. So you basically see lambda, x, y, and you would say y minus x. So the first, the second minus the first one. So list 1 is this one and list 2 is that one. So once we run this, now we get the result. So let's go ahead and do like a little bit of experiments. Let me remove this part of list 2 and see if this guy is going to run. It did run. So we have 10, 15, 10, 24 minus 9, and then 10 is omitted. So if I, let's say, omit all of these, then what are we going to have? We're going to have 0 and 10, 22. Let's run it. 1022. So this is how the mapping function works here. But let's not make it complicated. Normally when we are using Lambda, we want to have the same numbers for x and y. I mean, normally when we are applying a function to a data set, the data set have the same number of columns for every data object. So we will learn about. So in challenge 3, I want you all to start working on a data set. So we are jumping into working with data sets now. So I want you all to work with a very famous data set, iris data set. This iris data set is very famous among data scientists. It's a data set that is used a lot for different experimentation and like using different algorithms. Basically, the iris data is the data of 150 flowers, iris flowers, and each flower has been measured by 4 attributes. We have sepal length and width, and we also have petal length and petal width. So if you run this part of the code that will be provided for you on the course website, you will get the iris data in the form of an array. So, and if you create, run also this part of the code, which also is provided for you, you will have sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. You just need to call them to get access to them. So for example, I have petal width here. If I wanted to sepal width, I could just copy that, and then it would give me the sepal width. So the challenge here is I want you all to use map and list to create the area of sepal area and petal area. So create a function and then apply that to your data. That's the challenge. And then after you're done with that challenge, on next challenge, I want you all to do the same thing, but this time I want you to do it with Lambda function. And that's your next challenge.